Everyone seems to be convinced that America has walked into a trap. The strait is closed. The oil price is climbing. The war's exit is nowhere in sight. And the verdict is already being written. But it is being written too early. The Strait of Hormuz is running at roughly half its normal traffic volume. 21 ships on a recent Tuesday, where 40 normally pass. The Americans reimposed their blockade. Oil climbed to between $88 and $96, 25% higher than before the blockade tightened. If it climbs another 15% before September, the pressure on American politics becomes severe. Trump's approval sits at 35%. Only 37% of Americans support continued strikes on Iran. More than half say the war is not worth the cost. When approval looks like this before midterms, political consequences follow. The people saying America is losing are not making up these facts. The facts are real. But stay with me, because here is what those facts do not show. Iran's control of the strait is a genuine achievement. There is no point pretending otherwise. The ability to restrict traffic through a passage carrying 20% of the world's oil supply gives Iran leverage over oil prices, over Gulf economies, over global shipping, and over American domestic politics simultaneously. This is real power. It is also a trap. The strait through which Iran is throttling global oil flows is the same strait through which Iran exports its own oil. Iran's government budget runs heavily on oil revenue. Every day the strait operates at reduced capacity, Iranian exports are constrained alongside everyone else's. The weapon pointed at the global economy is pointed at the hand holding it at the same time. This is why the April ceasefire agreement included a little-known provision that gave Iran control over the strait. Iran cannot keep the strait closed forever without hurting itself. This means Iran may not be as powerful in these negotiations as the headlines suggest. Here is the single most revealing data point of this entire conflict. The United Arab Emirates quietly flew combat operations alongside American forces in the early phase of the war. Iran knew. Iran hit the UAE for it, directing its largest share of pre-ceasefire retaliatory strikes at UAE infrastructure specifically. When the April ceasefire was declared, the UAE transferred $3 billion to Iran. The stated framework was unfreezing Iranian assets. The actual meaning was a guarantee. Iran would stand down from striking UAE territory. Iran accepted the payment. A country that genuinely controls the strategic chokepoint of the global oil economy, a country that believes it has momentum, does not sell a ceasefire to a smaller neighbor for $3 billion. It presses. It does not negotiate the price of stopping. Iran stopped. Iran took the money. And the money tells you everything. Iran needed economic relief. Iran needed the regional pressure to ease. Iran could not secure that relief through military means. $3 billion does not lie. That payment is Iran's own admission, made in the only language that cannot be spun, that it is not winning this war. It is surviving it. On borrowed money. The war escalated this week. The United States extended strikes to northern Iran, hitting targets closer to Tehran than at any previous point in the conflict. Air raid alerts sounded in the Iranian capital overnight for the first time in weeks. A civilian airport in northern Iran was struck. A railway bridge in Semnan was taken out. America is no longer keeping the war at a comfortable distance from Iran's heartland. Trump has threatened further. The electricity grid, oil facilities, every critical system that keeps Iran functioning. He made similar threats in March. The international pressure pushed back and he paused. That pattern is established. But what is also established is that each escalation cycle has moved the war deeper into Iranian territory, closer to Iranian civilians, and further from the border zones where Iran expected to absorb the fighting. Iran is retaliating. Strikes on American bases in Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain continue. Regional air defenses are intercepting the majority of Iranian missiles and drones at high rates. Iran is hitting back. Iran is also being absorbed. Every Iranian strike is being met, processed, and neutralized by a military system that does not sleep, does not run out of intercept capacity, and does not get rattled. Iran has one powerful card, the strait. Beyond that card, its hand is being read and countered in real time. America is not close to breaking. Iran is running out of moves. Back-channel talks are running through Pakistan and Qatar. Neither side will say so publicly. Both sides are participating. This is how wars end when the losing position is too politically sensitive to acknowledge in public. Read past the diplomatic language in the statements from Qatari officials, and the picture is clear. Both sides are fronting up rather than converging. The specific obstacle is the April memorandum provision, giving Iran management rights over the strait. The Trump administration signed it. The Trump administration then decided it could not live with it. Getting that concession reversed is what the negotiations are actually about. Iran obtained that provision legally. America wants it back. Iran will not return it without something equivalent. America cannot offer something equivalent without it looking like a reward for seizing a global waterway. Both sides are still sending messages. That means both sides believe a formula exists. But here is the asymmetry. America can sustain this war economically and militarily longer than Iran can. Every week that passes without a settlement is a week of economic deterioration for an Iranian economy already compressed by years of sanctions. The talks are not happening because America is desperate for an exit. They are happening because Iran needs one and cannot publicly ask for it. The race to September is not between two equal sides. It is between American political resilience and Iranian economic resilience. One of those breaks more predictably than the other. If oil has not come down, if the war has not produced a visible development, the administration can call progress. If approval numbers have not moved, September is when Republican candidates in competitive districts start having very uncomfortable conversations with their campaign managers. This pressure is real. Oil briefly dropped to the low 70s during the ceasefire period. That drop gave Trump a small approval improvement in recent weeks. The oil price tracks the strait directly, which means the same lever that gives Iran its strongest current weapon also gives America the clearest path to domestic political relief. A settlement that reopens the strait, restores oil prices, and improves approval numbers simultaneously. America has a political incentive to settle. It also has a military and economic position strong enough to wait for the right terms. Iran does not have the same luxury. Iran's economy was already under severe sanction pressure before February. It is now under that pressure plus the cost of an active war. Every war has a limited number of exits. This one has 3. America is better positioned in 2 of them. The first exit is a ground invasion. The second exit is a negotiated settlement. The third exit is extended stalemate, the current situation with no end date. This exit benefits Iran more than America in one specific way. Time gives Iran the opportunity to reconstitute, adapt, and outlast American domestic political, well, the way smaller powers have outlasted larger ones before. This is the exit America needs to avoid. Currently, America's air superiority in the region is going unchallenged. Its strikes are reaching the deepest points of Iranian territory. The nuclear program is set back by years. But Iran sold a ceasefire for $3 billion. Iran's new leadership is governing from. This war is not won by USA. But it is not being lost either. The side with unchallenged air superiority, the side whose military capability has not been degraded, the side whose allies are still in the coalition, the side that can sustain this economically longer. That side is simply waiting, not losing. And in a war where one side has been selling ceasefires for cash, waiting is winning.